Remember, they're changing my voice. The homosexual campaign against me, the racist campaign against me, is like unparalleled in American history, where I'm targeted. Okay, it's not a group of people on a slave plantation. Okay, it's not the Klan coming once or twice at somebody. It's every single day. Okay, it's around the clock. The organized psyop. Yes, America is a very, very, very racist nation. Shame on anyone who's proud of it. Shame, 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 shame. Okay, they do not stop. Remember, I'm born in America. And if I wasn't, I should be able to say this. It is a racist, racist nation. Okay, there's no words for how racist it is. And they try to bring me down to their level, but I tell the truth in regards to racial issues. Sometimes I'm critical. I tell the truth. They come at me not only as law enforcement, military, CIA, alphabet boys, they also come at me as social clubs and community members and gangs and things of this nature. It is pathetic. I know that I'm a brain surgeon son from what most people would call the most athletic race, but obviously the greatest warrior race. Okay? But to handle it like children and start whining all the time and say, no, we want English looks superior. Oh, the Germans, oh, the Jews. Right? It's fucking pathetic. And as they get other races to try to follow suit and say, we're up there somewhere. Come on, guys, come on. They'll respect us more if we act racist too. It it is pathetic. It is fucking pathetic. Okay? Can you imagine people in the future who are dumb enough to believe that God didn't make the black man in his image? Maybe they'll argue that mankind started in Europe. Can you imagine? When you look at the features of black people, they look like ancient features. Okay, now with all due respect, okay, I think this has to be said. One of the reasons why people look different has to do with developmental disorders. Has to do with the particular brain disorders that they have. And I figured this out on my own and just analyzing people. Okay, look at the English, for example. You know, Jacob Rothschild, English Jews, they kind of have some kind of overlapping genes. Jews, in a way, the white Jews are like just another group of European people. You know, they look like they're on the spectrum of autism and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying this to be racist, this is just the facts, okay? And this is part of why when they get together as groups, historically they've done racist acts, they've done stupid things. Why? All throughout history. Genocide, railroading the Chinese, slavery, you know what I'm saying? The Phoenix program in Vietnam, why was it back to back to back to back? Whole communities, whole military groups, back to back, kind of pressuring any minorities there to join them. Why was it that the case? We'll study them carefully. Okay, again, I was interrupted, but I was saying study them carefully. I don't know why they made the mistake of insisting on changing the way I look, changing my voice. Even though my body is now shaped slightly weird, you can still tell that my genes are superior to other people. Okay, and you can tell that some kind of chemical activity or something strange has caused the change in my facial expressions in the way I look. Nobody in their right mind would believe that I naturally look like a gay person. Maybe if this was England and I was part English, raised in an English place, where would it make sense to resemble um, the way they look? Okay, it is stupid as hell for them to do this. Every day and during their racist campaign, they literally cause me damage to my brain to change my facial expression. For those of you who are confused about how that works, think about when you're in a good mood, how you look. When you're in a bad mood, how you look. Think about how, when you're studying, how you look. When somebody damages your brain in certain ways, you can look like people who have inferior brain function. So when all is said and done, obviously I'm smarter than all white people. I'm part white, but, none of them have ever come close, when it comes to true brain power, life decisions, right? Where the judgment matters most. Okay, so they've damaged my brain to a large degree, but my logic still remains. Okay, and they've done it over a long period of time. How racist is that? to damage someone's brain every day for years, to try to feign racial supremacy in a nation where people are sick of white people arguing racial supremacy, where it's one of the most stigmatized things, where they're sick of Jews riding the white man's coattail, trying to argue his racial supremacy. They're sick of AIPAC and they're sick of Israel's oppression. Okay, they're sick of LGBT gay agendas, why they're not allowed to say that they exist. But they're also a broken nation that isn't going to rally and make these arguments. The shame of America will never be wiped away. I suggest people stop breeding. In fact, God forbids breeding, but if you breed at your own risk, right? And it's guaranteed to come back to haunt you in the afterlife. I also suggest that people leave America. America is far too disgraced. They still haven't corrected their mistake. Imagine how crazy they must be as groups for them to still not rally to me, for them to still not stop harassing me for their petty kind of LGBT, Jewish and white agenda. This country is damned beyond words. And so is the planet, but especially this country. If you want to be all the Satanists you can be, keep waving American flags. If you want to represent for persecuting the top martial artist ever, okay, and never making up for it and never stopping, okay, keep waving American flags. If you're proud that they assassinated Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, keep waving American flags. If you're proud of being a country that stigmatizes conspiracy theory, when JFK pointed out there was a conspiracy and then eventually got killed, keep waving American flags. If you're proud of immigrants being raped, you're proud of 1 in 4 little girls being molested, you're proud of America's huge part in the starvation of 3 million children every year around the world, keep waving American flags. But I, for one, despise this nation that I grew up in, this nation I was born in, that never has a speck of sense, that always causes other nations, to have wars. They wage proxy wars, okay, and then they blame the government of those nations after their CIA and other European nations, Western nations and European nations have manipulated their election processes and assassinated leaders and all that. America is a deceiver dog nation, and if they ever compensate me and I get my sight back, I will leave this Babylonian hellhole and never look back. And I will always testify in the afterlife against America, her law enforcement, her military, people, her martial artists, if you want to call them that, people who were trained in some form of discipline and fighting, who didn't have the heart to rally to me. There's no excuse for that. Their families are deeply, deeply disgraced. And it doesn't matter if everybody in human history from now on kisses their ass. My opinion is the only one that matters. The opinions of bad fruit do not matter.